1963 Impala SS convertible restoration, frame fixture suspension. Here we go. Okay, now we've gotten this car in from New York and stripped it down, installed it on this rotisserie, sent it out to Media Blast, and when it came back, man, we were in for a very big surprise. Go check that video out. I think you will be amazed. Okay, so a lot of the opposite of quality work has been done to this vehicle. And right now, it's falling into the ugly duckling category, but we're going to change that to a beautiful swan. And you can kind of see some of this work. Now, there was a lot of brass and body panels that had been replaced or fabricated, then covered up with construction adhesive. And you can see that under the DP90. That's the black epoxy primer that we applied over the media blasted metal. Well, we're going to change all that. We're going to start by removing it from the rotisserie. Now, here's a tip for you. Anytime you send something out to Media Blast, you cover all of the name tags, plates, serial numbers, and multiple layers of tape. Do not let the media blasting facility be in charge of that. Just a tip for you. Okay, now we're going to lift this body off, and we want to keep in mind, be mindful of how we're doing that. Okay, you might have noticed there isn't any bracing in this car. Yeah, I can hear a lot of guys, oh, you didn't brace it. Well, we're going to be pretty much cutting almost every body panel out of this car, and there's not going to be any place to attach it to. So we're not going to waste time in doing that. What we are going to do is we're going to get this removed from the rotisserie, and then we are going to install it onto a frame fixture, and then we're going to build off of that after we've like I mentioned, pretty much cut the body up into nothing. And there's the last of the rotisserie and the start of the frame fixture. Okay, we're going to get that installed and bolted into place. Now we're going to put stanchions and bracing under the car and several other places before we cut the body or start cutting parts off of this body, replacing the floor pan, trunk, upper deck, etc.
Sorry, but man, this job's a little different than everything.
And get that secured down. Okay, now that's going to be the resting place until we're finished with the body. Okay, moving on to the frame. Now, there was quite a bit of grease on the frame, and yeah, so we've used a product that I like. It's called Totally Awesome. You can get it at Home Depot. It works extremely well. Got it all power washed, cleaned up, and we're going to start disassembling this frame. Now there are a few places that we're going to be repairing on this frame. You can see a little bit of obvious damage there. The usual rust around the body mount locations, bushings. And here we go. front suspension disassembly. And getting the gearbox out of the way. And we'll work on the upper control arms. Now what we've got scheduled, like I mentioned, we're going to be repairing whatever needs to be repaired on the frame. Then it's going to go out to media blast, powder coat. We're going to be disassembling all of these suspension parts, sending them out also for media blast and powder coat. And we'll get that rear suspension disassembled and removed. And there it is. And here is the pile of suspension parts that have been removed. So now we're going to go ahead and further disassemble the suspension parts. And we're going to be using an air hammer to get those bushings out of there. Yeah, now we're at the beginning of this restoration. Hey, stay tuned. Um, we're going to be installing the complete floor, upper deck, trunk pan, left and right quarter panels, replacing the deck, replacing the front hood, front fenders, and we even have new doors for this convertible. It's going to be a very in-depth, extensive restoration. And you can check out all of our other Impala restorations on our playlist. Now here's a restoration tip for you. This is the easy way, or the old school way, on how to remove the inner wheel bearing and grease seal, or the easy way. Let me just put it that way. We're going to get the spindle nut off of here. Now, usually it's not tight, so it's okay to use some adjustable end pliers. Not going to damage the nut. Now, there's a trick to this. We're going to get this nut off of here, then remove the outer wheel bearing and washer. And the trick is you reinstall this nut. Yeah, I could have sped that up a little bit, but yeah, here it comes off. And the trick is you reinstall the nut and you have to cock the hub assembly where when you pull up quickly, it catches the bearing. I'll show you here in a second. Okay, and you can see that that cleanly pulls out the inner wheel bearing and the grease seal. And a lot of times, some of that stuff is getting hard to find. If you don't damage it, you always have the option to reuse it if it's in good condition. And here's a layout of what we have accomplished so far. Old bushings. And we have a complete new set of front end suspension parts to install once it comes back for media blast and powder coat. Hey, hit that like and subscribe, leave a comment. As always, hey, thank you for watching.